You know the drill. It's the first thing anyone ever says when your internet slows to a crawl. Hey, have you tried turning it off and on again? Well, today we're going to figure out why that simple little trick actually works so incredibly well.
Seriously, we've all been there, right? You're on the phone with tech support, you've been on hold for 10 minutes, and the very first thing they ask is, did you reboot it? It almost feels like they're not taking you seriously. But the crazy thing is, it usually works. So what's the secret?
Ah, yes, the dreaded spinning wheel of doom. This little icon, this is our mortal enemy. It's what stands between you and finishing that movie, winning that game, or just having a normal video call. And believe it or not, the fix is way less complicated than you'd think.
Okay, let's get into it. This universal tech fix isn't some kind of magic spell. It's just simple mechanics. When you unplug that router, you're actually triggering a whole chain of events. So let's break down what's really happening under the hood.
First things first, we have to change how we think about that little black box. It's not just a blinking light machine. Your router is actually a small, highly specialized computer. Its one and only job, 24/7, is to manage all the internet traffic in your house.
And, when you look at it side by side, it's pretty clear. Your router has a brain, a processor. Just like your PC, it has short-term memory or RAM to juggle its tasks. And just like your laptop gets slow when you have 50 tabs open, your router can get bogged down from managing hundreds of connections over time.
So what is this secret job that's causing all the trouble? Why does your router get slower and slower the longer it's left on? Well, to figure that out, we have to look inside its digital brain.
Okay, so picture your router's memory as a work desk. Every day, it handles tons of requests. But over time, little software bugs called memory leaks start leaving junk behind. Old connection info just piles up, and eventually, that desk gets so cluttered that the router just can't work efficiently anymore. It's struggling to find anything.
And this is key. When you reboot that router, you are literally sweeping everything off that messy desk. You're wiping its short-term memory completely clean. All that digital clutter, all those buggy processes, poof, they're gone. It gets to start over, totally fresh.
But clearing out the router's brain is only part of the story. Your router also has to talk to the rest of the world, and that involves a kind of digital handshake with your internet service provider, your ISP.
Just think about it. Your router and your ISP are in a constant conversation. It's this nonstop back and forth that actually brings the internet to your home. But just like any conversation, sometimes things get weird. The connection can get confused or just plain stuck.
Yeah, a network glitch can lock the connection into what tech folks call a bad state. The best way to think about it is like a jammed door lock. The key's in, you're turning it, but the door just won't open. The data's there, but it can't get through. And that's when you get those awful slowdowns.
Now, part of that big handshake with your ISP is getting an IP address. This is basically your network's unique mailing address on the internet. And if something goes wrong with that address, maybe there's a conflict or a glitch, your devices literally can't find their way online.
So rebooting the router is like telling it to just hang up the phone and call the ISP back again. It forces a brand new, clean connection, which unjams that digital lock. At the same time, it asks for a fresh IP address, making sure all your data knows exactly where it's supposed to go.
All right, so we've decluttered the router's brain and we've reset its connection to the wider internet. But there is one more piece to this puzzle, and it has to do with what's happening right there inside your own house, on your Wi-Fi. So, most routers these days have two Wi-Fi networks. You've got the 2.4 gigahertz band, which is kind of like a crowded local highway. It goes a long way, but it's slow and full of traffic. Then you have the 5 gigahertz band. Think of that as a wide-open expressway. It's way faster and way less crowded. Here's the thing. Sometimes your devices they get stubborn. They'll just stay on that slow, crowded highway even when the expressway is right there. When you reboot the router, you kick every single device off the network. This forces them all to look around and reconnect. And that's when they often make a smarter choice and jump on that faster 5 gigahertz channel.
So when you put all of this together, that one simple act, just pulling the plug for a few seconds, is doing so much more than you realize. It really is the ultimate reset button.
And that's why it's always the first piece of advice. In one simple move, you're clearing out the memory, you're fixing the connection to your ISP, you're grabbing a new IP address, and you're forcing all your devices to find the fastest Wi-Fi possible. You're tackling 5 or 6 potential problems all at once.
At the end of the day, it really just boils down to this. You wouldn't think twice about restarting your computer if it got all laggy and slow, right? Well, your router is no different.
It's just a little computer doing a tough job, and every once in a while it needs a fresh start.
So next time you have to unplug that router, you'll know exactly what you're doing. You're not just hoping for a miracle, you're running a full system diagnostic and repair. It's not magic, it's just mechanics. And it kind of makes you wonder, what other tech magic is really just that simple?